Graduates, honored guests, faculty, staff, families, and friends, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Stanford Graduate School of Business. I'd like to start by recognizing several groups here today. We have more than 500 students graduating from the MBA, MSX, and PhD programs. Graduating students, this is for you today to honor you, and let me ask everyone to give them a little bit of our appreciation for them. Our graduates did not get here alone. The GSB faculty and staff have played a pivotal role in their journey through Stanford. Let's hear the same appreciation for our faculty and staff. Finally, we are joined by friends and family members who have provided our graduates with support, advice, and love over the years. Graduates, could I ask you to turn, face your families and friends, and acknowledge them. Okay, you may be seated. Okay, I will remember many things about the GSB class of 2024. Dinners, events, view from the top interviews, having Graham Weaver's MGE class role play dilemmas in the dean's office, the incredible talent on display at this spring's GSB show. There is one thing I will remember most. That is the community that you formed. That was what came to mind immediately when I started to reflect on my remarks for today. And I hesitated, because the word community has become so overused, it's almost vacuous. However, for this class, I want to reclaim it. The Oxford English Dictionary lists 23 definitions for a community. 2 are salient. The first is a group of people who share the same interests, pursuits, or occupation. That's not quite right. You arrived at the GSB from hundreds of schools and organizations and from more than 60 countries. By design and through the wise choices of the admissions office, you had very different interests and pursuits. Some of you aspired to become the world expert in a particular scholarly field, organizational culture, or the use of AI in financial markets. Some of you wanted to hone your investment skills or start a company. Some of you wanted to advance sustainability or healthcare. A few of you, while very promising in other regards, may have had your heart set on a beer pong league championship. However, you did share one big thing. You each came to Stanford to explore, to learn. So you had the seeds of a community for the purpose of learning. The second salient definition of community is life in association with others. You started that life when you sat next to someone at orientation and you were curious. You asked where they came from, what they cared about, who they wanted to become. You continued that when you competed in section Olympics against some actual Olympians, when you threw a silent disco party during a retreat, when you got GSB married to a classmate, or chased a chicken around Palo Alto. You can explain that one to your parents later. More seriously, those of you in the class of 2024 help provide an answer to the question everyone has been asking this year, the question that is so important if universities like Stanford are to continue as the beacon for the world. What does it take to build a community for the purpose of learning, and to do that in association with others? There are two cornerstones. The first is that everyone has the freedom to explore, to think for themselves, to form their own opinions, to pursue the areas and ideas that interest them. That freedom is fundamental to American universities. It's why Stanford's first president chose as our motto, "The wind of freedom blows." It's the reason so many of you traveled halfway around the world, in some cases from countries that don't have that freedom, to be here. The second cornerstone is that we bring an open mind and deep respect for the interests, ideas, and passions of the people around us, that we support their freedom to explore and learn. That's what makes us more than the sum of our parts. I admire the way you, GSB class of 2024, demonstrated that this year. Whether it was sharing your stories in talk, or debating ideas in one of Keith Hennessy's classes, or just talking in town square. These cornerstones of freedom and respect are tough to set in tandem, as we are being constantly reminded. It's precisely this kind of community that I hope our institutions of higher education and our democracy can bolster against the shadow of polarization and mistrust that threatens to dim our shared purpose and possibility. And I know you will take this powerful ability and light with you as you graduate. The world needs your leadership to build organizations, to mend divisions, with the same curiosity and consideration that you brought to the first day of GSB orientation. I'm proud to be graduating with you from the GSB this year. And I'm going to take the same set of values that you modeled so beautifully this year: freedom, open-mindedness, curiosity, respect, with me as I move on to my next chapter at Stanford. Congratulations, GSB class of 2024, for all you've accomplished, and Godspeed with what you will accomplish. We're so grateful that you're forever part of the Stanford community. Congratulations, class of 2024. Today's graduation speaker, Jonathan Reckford, has been helping to build communities around the world, literally, as the CEO of Habitat for Humanity since 2005. After earning his Stanford MBA in 1989, he worked for the first part of his career at companies including Marriott, Disney, and Best Buy. When he got the call about the leadership opening at Habitat for Humanity, he realized it was a dream job. He could take everything he knew about leading and growing organizations and use it to help millions of people. His path of responsible leadership is inspiring, and so are his ideas on how to live a good life. Please join me in welcoming Jonathan Reckford.
Thank you, Dean Levin, for that kind introduction, and congratulations to the class of 2024. It's a great honor to be back here. 35 years ago, I sat where all of you are, prepared, but with no idea of the path that lay ahead. Just before coming to Stanford, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to live and work in Asia for a year through the Henry Luce Scholarship. I ended up doing marketing work for the Seoul Olympic Organizing Committee and coaching the Korean national rowing team. Now, the team only qualified because we were the host country, but this allowed me to immerse fully in the culture by living in the training camp with the Korean coaches and athletes. After that life-changing experience, I arrived here on campus straight from traveling around Asia with a bit of reverse culture shock. Things got even harder my first semester when my mom unexpectedly passed away. I had to take several weeks off and even considered dropping out, but the school and my friends were so supportive, and I remain grateful to the Stanford community for the compassion and understanding. You are all blessed to be part of an incredible school, surrounded by smart, passionate, and driven peers, professors, and mentors. Though much has changed over the past 35 years, this remains the same. During my time here, I was fortunate to develop a great core group of friends, as I'm sure most of you have as well. A few days before graduation, 6 of us went to Sonoma and bought good bottles of wine to save for our weddings. 5 weddings in 5 years meant most of those bottles went quickly. We had to wait 30 years for that last bottle. We're ecstatic he held out for the right person. After 3 decades, it turned out the bottle wasn't even that good, and the storage fees were ridiculous. But our friendship that began as graduate students here at Stanford did age well and endures to this day. Earning your graduate degree is a huge milestone, but it's also just one more step forward on your path in life. However, the people you surround yourself with, the challenges you decide to pursue, and the values you embrace today will have a profound impact on what you do tomorrow. So as you embark on the next season of your journey, I ask you to think about 3 questions. First, what values will define you? I learned early on that ultimately your success will be measured not by what you've achieved, but by who you are, your character. You're a group of high achievers, and high achievers are especially good at reputation management. But one of the greatest risks of reputation management is allowing a gap between your public persona and your inner life. That gap is where all the bad stuff happens. You'll be shocked, I'm going to use a housing analogy, but if your family, career, and service are the house, your values are the foundation on which those are built. You don't see the foundation, but it is essential to the integrity of the home. There will be storms in your lives, and when they happen, they reveal the strength of your foundation. The values that define each of us are incredibly personal. I've lost jobs and faced intergenerational challenges with mental health and depression in my family. But for me, my identity and my faith has allowed me to keep perspective on my temptations to put too much stock in my possessions, career, and reputation. And in fact, it was the willingness to give up all 3 that eventually led me to my dream vocation at Habitat. After Stanford, I held a number of corporate roles until I was out of a job after a merger and unable to work due to a ferocious non-compete clause. I was blessed to be able to spend more time with my family and be a stay-at-home dad. But I struggled to let go of an identity that was too tied to my occupation. It was then I discovered the critical importance of white spaces, those times of learning and growth that don't show up on your resume. I had the opportunity to travel and volunteer, which led me to India, where I worked alongside the Bungi, the poorest, most marginalized group in that country. It was there that I realized how much good could come from relatively small interventions. I knew that the conditions in the world demanded positive change on a much larger scale, and I wanted to be a part of that. I then returned home on fire and went through a long and often frustrating period of waiting for the right opportunity. As I traveled my uneven path, I realized that God cared more about my character than my job, and I needed to refocus on that before finding my vocation. That led unexpectedly to being asked to be the administrative pastor of my local church, a move everyone I trusted for professional advice said was career suicide. For me, that period of waiting and then serving in the church turned out to be the perfect complement to my corporate career to be ready for Habitat, which came calling a couple of years later when I wasn't looking. Remember my group of Stanford friends I mentioned earlier? These friends have always led me in the right direction, held me accountable, and certainly kept me humble. When the announcement went out that I would be speaking here today, several of my buddies reached out to me. One said, "Looking forward to hearing your remarks," which I assume will be something to the effect of, "Don't sell out like your roommates did." Another suggested I speak about how inspiring your roommates were in helping shape your path. While that was said in jest, it's actually true. We started as housemates and have done life together ever since, from vacationing to watching our own kids grow, and now even have children following in their footsteps here at the GSB. My hope for every one of you is that you always have at least one friend with whom you can be fully and completely transparent, and who loves you enough to tell you the truth and lift you up when you struggle. This brings me to my second question. Who are you going to follow? Just as important as the value of friends is the value of role models. Picking the right role models is critical to the growth of your character. During my time at Habitat, I've had the incredible privilege of getting to know President Jimmy Carter, someone who has always shown the world what true integrity looks like. President and Mrs. Carter began working with Habitat in 1984, and for 35 years, they worked alongside over 100,000 volunteers in 14 countries to build thousands of homes and inspire millions more before they retired from public life in 2020. During one of the Carter's earliest builds with Habitat, they led a group to renovate a 6-story apartment building in New York City. In the group was a newly married couple who had given up their honeymoon to come and volunteer with Habitat. The group was staying in the basement of a local church, which had set aside a Sunday school classroom for the Carters to sleep in. They offered it to the newlywed couple and slept on the floor with all the other volunteers. Not typical behavior for a former president, and his involvement put Habitat on the map. I've been with President Carter with some of the most and some of the least powerful people in the world, and he's the same in all situations. A great mark of integrity. According to leadership expert Warren Bennis, leadership is a 3-legged stool of competence, ambition, and a moral compass. All 3 are critical and hold one another in balance. If you lack competence, you won't get much done. If you lack ambition, nothing gets done. The most dangerous are the destructive achievers, those that have competence and ambition, but lack a moral compass to point them in the right direction. President Carter has successfully balanced all 3, and his remarkable life of public service will always be inspiring to me and to so many others. My first and perhaps most influential role model was my grandmother. Her name was Millicent Fenwick, and she was quite a colorful personality. She was a civil and human rights pioneer and a New Jersey congresswoman who encouraged me from a young age to care for the lost and left out in the world. And she did it in her own unique way. If any of you have ever read the comic strip Doonesbury, the character of Lacey Davenport was modeled after my grandmother, who had a very imposing presence. Prior to her public life, she had written the Vogue Book of Etiquette, which was a bestseller. In order to graduate to the grown-up table at her house, one had to be able to sit up straight, hold one's fork properly, and discuss economic development in sub-Saharan Africa. And let me tell you, as a 10-year-old, that was both fascinating and terrifying. Almost every time I saw my grandmother, she would recite her favorite Bible verse, Micah 6:8. He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. That passage of Scripture and my grandmother's unconventional determination to fight for social justice were profound influences on my life, and they still are. Graduates, you have your own family members who have influenced your path and helped you reach this milestone. And it's wonderful to see so many of them here today. I know they're so proud of your achievements and have faith in you. So I hope you will always surround yourselves with those who bring out your better angels, and choose carefully who you follow and allow to speak into your life. This leads me to my third and final question. What problem will you help solve? My grandmother would often ask me what I was going to do to be useful. There is no shortage of problems in the world. So how will all of you be useful? Now, I'm not telling you all to run out and join nonprofits, because we can't solve the big problems in our world without the private sector. Big problems require multi-sector solutions. Plus, we need some of you future corporate titans to help fund Habitat and other good causes. And the line between the business and nonprofit worlds is also increasingly blurred, with companies becoming more focused on their social impact and nonprofits like Habitat becoming increasingly diversified and sophisticated. Stanford recognized this early on. Back when I was looking at business schools, Stanford was one of only 2 business schools that believed we needed professional management in the social sector, which is now a mainstream view. And also, while Habitat's known as a nonprofit builder, many people don't know that we also have billions in mortgages, run over 1,200 retail stores, and created the affordable housing asset class in global microfinance. So the skills you've developed here at Stanford are desperately needed in every sector. And you don't have to decide what you're going to do or what you will solve right now. Legendary leader John Gardner finished his career teaching at the GSB my second year. He told me, to my surprise, it doesn't matter what you do in your 20s. Just think of all of that as continuing education and try and learn as much as you possibly can. You'll eventually figure out what you're really supposed to do. Finding what you're really supposed to do, your vocation, can be a lifelong pursuit. It's finding that right combination of something that makes you come alive, plus ability, plus a worthy cause. Habitat is my vocation, but it took a while to get here. The past certainly wasn't straight for me, but looking back, I can see how all those experiences were helping prepare me. According to theologian Frederick Buechner, you will finally found your vocation when the deep gladness of your heart and the world's great need meet. When the deep gladness of your heart and the world's great need meet. So now as you seek your own vocation, I encourage you to keep asking yourself those 3 questions. What values will define you? Who are you going to follow? And what problem will you help solve? I'd like to end by offering this traditional Franciscan blessing. May God bless you with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may live deep within your heart. May God bless you with anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may wish for justice, freedom, and peace. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in this world, so that you can do what others say cannot be done. Godspeed, class of 24, for lives of joy and impact.
It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce the GSB PhD class of 2024. Our PhD program is small and exclusive with an admission rate under 6%. These individuals came here as students, dedicating themselves to 2 or 3 years of coursework, followed by an intensive research apprenticeship in their chosen fields. Having become true experts, they leave us as colleagues, setting out on a path to create new knowledge which we know will help change the world of business and government for the better. Today, we formally celebrate the transition of these folks from students to future intellectual leaders who will play an important role in shaping our understanding of business and management. After their advisors place the hood of the Stanford Graduate School of Business on them, they will join us on the stage as we welcome them as colleagues into our profession. Diane Lee, Assistant Dean of the PhD program, will now read their names, and their dissertation advisor will hood them.
Rishabh Agarwal. Rishabh's dissertation analyzes the effect of corporations' disclosure incentives on the transmission of monetary policy and how such economic incentives shape the information environment in the economy. Cody Cook. Cody studies the design of policies affecting urban inequality, including congestion pricing and programs for providing affordable housing to low-income households. Fang Guo. Fang researches the effect of media technology on political and economic behaviors. She analyzes how the local political environment shapes individuals' identities and beliefs. Joseph Hall. Joseph studies how new financial technologies are utilized by households and small businesses and policies to ensure they are utilized for societal benefits. Joshua Morris Hurwitz. Joshua researches how organizations make decisions in times of crisis. Specifically, he studies the boundary-making processes that firms use to maintain operations under conditions of scarcity and how they restructure themselves to maintain long-term viability and resilience. Mohammed Hussein. Using survey experiments, conjoint analysis, and natural language processing techniques, Mohammed researches the psychology of persuasion and politics. Jake Jarris. Jake studies how farm subsidies shape farmers' political engagement and their support for government programs. His dissertation challenges conventional wisdom on what makes special interest groups influential in Washington. Konstantin Korotky. Konstantin studies the factors that make consumers deviate from rational choice. Ivan Lee. Ivan uses pop culture settings to study marketing and economic phenomenon. For example, he uses the behavior of Twitch streamers to study advertisement disclosure and NIL in college football to study labor market sorting. Chelsea Lyde. Chelsea researches the phenomenon of second-order prejudice, or our beliefs about the prejudices of others. Through this research, Chelsea shows how individuals develop beliefs about others' prejudices and the consequences of these beliefs on organizational processes like hiring, promotion, and job assignment. Giacomo Montagazza. Giacomo explores how artificial intelligence can affect competition in markets, how market conditions influence its performance, and measures how this interplay impacts the efficiency of supply chains. Caitlin McCarthy. Caitlin researches how a union threat affects management forecast disclosures. Bryce McLaughlin. Bryce's work explores how prediction tools impact high-stakes decisions in fields such as criminal justice, healthcare, and human resources. Specifically, he focused on how algorithm design choices impact the resulting fairness and accuracy of human decision makers. Elon Morgenstern. Elon's research explores how to design digital platforms and online marketplaces and analyzes the role of data collection in the digital economy. Preeti Vani Srinivasan. Preeti's research is about allyship, activism, and social justice. She studies when, why, and how individuals and organizations engage with social justice, and how these entities are perceived by others when they engage with efforts for social change. Lara Young. Lara studies the interplay between identity and social structure using machine learning techniques applied to organizational communications data. Frank Young. Frank's dissertation explores the economics of optimal bundling and pricing by a multi-product seller. Han-Suk Yu. Han-Suk conducted research on low and middle income Americans' political preferences and a survey experiment methodology.
The Master of Arts in Business Research recognizes the accomplishments of those students who have completed the coursework and fulfilled the research requirements of the master's degree, and thus have become domain experts. Please join me in celebrating the accomplishments behind attaining this degree.
Margaret Redfield. Omer Sharon Cohen.
It is my distinct pleasure as director of the Stanford MSX program to present this year's graduates who will receive the degree of Master of Science in Management. The mission of the MSX program is to provide experienced leaders, people who have spent at least 8 years in professional and management roles, the opportunity to prepare themselves for increasingly senior positions in organizations they will lead. MSX students participate in a full-time, year-long course of academic study, giving them an all-too-rare chance for reflection and growth in the midst of an already accomplished career. On behalf of the administration of the program and the faculty who have taught them, join me in wishing each of them great fulfillment and success in the next phase of their careers. Hold on. In honor of the service of former GSB Dean Robert Joss, who is with us today, and he was himself a student in this program, the top 10% of the MSX class, ranked by academic performance, are designated as Robert Joss Scholars. As we read the names of the graduates, we will also announce if they have achieved the distinction of Robert Joss Scholar. Margaret Hayes, Associate Dean of the MBA and MSX programs, will now read our graduates' names while Dean Levin presents the diplomas.
Bemisola Akande. Adrian Altoff. Ksenia Arshinova. Joao Fernando Barreto. Danielle Bayer, Robert Joss Scholar. Mihail Bloch-Ron. Matthew Champion. Silvio Chiba. Nathaniel Genho Clement. Julia Correa de Vasconcelos. Daulins Emilio. Silvio Frizan. Doyle Patrick Galvin. Sasha Gidwani. Mudit Goel. Parul Gupta. Ryan Haid. Emery Hahn. Jeff Shue, Robert Joss Scholar. Joseph Cow. Brian Katz. Jasmine Carr. Jatine Kuverji. Daniel Kretzmer. Eugene Kwok. Eileen Lee. James Lee. Raphael Lee. Robert Joss Scholar. Nan Lee. Yvonne Lee. Anson Leong. Roger Liang. Depesh Matani. Bonnie Meni. Kayla Marvel. Maria Mejia. Alex Mermod. Arnie Edward Michelson. Karul Anwar Mohammed Othman. Merritt Morin. Vladimir Mora. Jason Munyon. Abraham Uluchihu Ugudu. Oscar Orihuela. Lior Parizada. Petra Petrich. Robert Joss Scholar. Pat Paspashi. John Chen. Jorge Andres Quiroja Ospina. Yoon Rai Ro. Happy Saini. Natalie Salk. Anindita Sampath Kumar. Yuchen Siya, Robert Joss Scholar. Wenxin Lucia Shen. Shu Hao Shi. Tatsuya Shimizu. Jed Adam Simon. Tony Ting Tung Shu. Maxime Sonnen. Kadu Souza. Ankat Srivastava. Miko Taminen, Robert Joss Scholar. Akito Teraoka. Tai Tong. Claudia Udakiola Rodriguez. Paige Reeve Ewer. Khadija Vaya. Chien-Min Wu, Robert Joss Scholar. Yasa Yamamoto. Koki Yasumoto. Adi Zisapel.
Among the Robert L. Joss Scholars, one student's academic achievement places them at the top of the MSX class. This student is awarded the George G.C. Parker Prize, named in honor of GSB faculty and former program director, Professor George Parker. The Parker Prize comes with a significant cash award. The recipient of the George G.C. Parker Prize is Jeff Sue. All right. Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family, and friends. The MBA students gathered before us today have engaged in a transformational experience. They have acquired solid foundations in general management and have pursued deeper study in their areas of interest. They have engaged in personal growth and built relationships that will last a lifetime. They have helped the school and the community in many ways. They are an impressive group, and we are ready and worthy, and they are ready and worthy. Try that again. They are an impressive group and are ready and worthy to join the ranks of our illustrious alumni. Therefore, it is my great honor and privilege to present to you the Stanford MBA Class of 2024. As you leave, I hope your memories of the GSB will remain fresh and that you will stay involved with the school. Our alumni played an important role in your academic experience, ranging from serving as judges in the Executive Challenge to acting as mentors in entrepreneurial courses. It is my wish that you too will engage with GSB's academic mission as alumni and give your time and experience generously to future classes. You will leave your own legacy and play a part in bringing the GSB experience to future generations as other alumni have done before you. All of you here have undoubtedly heard of R.J. Miller. R.J. served in the U.S. Air Force during the Second World War and was later one of the so-called whiz kids who revolutionized Ford Motor Company. R.J. became president of Ford and then later the much-admired fourth dean of the GSB from 1968 to 1978. In honor of Dean Miller's service, the top 10% of the class, ranked by academic performance, are designated as R.J. Miller Scholars. As we read the names of the graduates, we will also announce if they have received the academic distinction of R.J. Miller Scholar. In the case of joint degree students who are walking today but not graduating, we will identify those who are currently in the top 10% of the class. The late Dean Miller has also founded the Certificate in Public Management and Social Innovation program at the GSB. The certificate program educates leaders who understand societal issues, design for and evaluate impact, and understand the specificities of the management of social organizations in both the private and public sectors. This year, we have 167 recipients. Their names are listed in the commencement program. You never know what's going to land. All right. Graduates' names will now be read by Jamie Shine, Assistant Dean of the Career Management Center, and by Margaret Hayes, Associate Dean of the MBA and MSX programs. Graduates will receive their diplomas from Dean Levin.
Issam Adin Abel. William Abbey, R.J. Miller Scholar. Athira Chaitana Achin. Frederick William Addy. Shivan Agarwal. Marianne Therese Aguilar. Joanna Aguilar Mendez. Dario Arpour. Salman Al-Arifi. Mohammed Al-Mugran. Shadden Al-Sheikh, R.J. Miller Scholar. Claudia Alvarez Pujol. Kenzie Amack. Nick Andrews. Don Androphy. Ricardo Ansures Sanchez. Elena Head Arida. Mike Arth. Annie Athar. Malika Aubakirova. Diego Bacci. Hike Badalian. Terry Baggett. Peter Mackenzie Balinson, R.J. Miller Scholar. Weston Allen Ballard. Sebastian Baquerizo. Nicole Barman. Stephen Beaton. Matthew Beatty. Shannon Beckham. Joby Bernstein, top 10% of the current class. Zaim Banji. Aaron Blacker. Nelamakara Piale Bopana. James Zachary Boyette. Louise Celine Badcock de Brito. Anna Lee Bryant. Laura Buckland. Courtney Jordana Burton. Nick Cable, R.J. Miller Scholar. Connor Stephen Calloway I. Alejandro Calvo Buyosa. Colin Verdun Campbell. Cheryl Campos. Dara Padrig Canavan, R.J. Miller Scholar. Anisha Naomi Carter. Summer Ann Carter. Kieran Cardy. Ian Joseph Chan. Sabrina Chandrani. Samuel Chang. Victor Charun Sofancic. Lacey Sham. Nicholas Shadid. Benedict Chin. Francis Chin. Enwu Chun. Cam Chestnut. Chung Chi. Kurt Samuel Chirbis. Juliette Choi. Young Hun Choi. Robert Chun. Charlotte Klinger. Beatriz Coelho. Jeffrey Lewis Cott, Jr. Race Coyne. Caitlin Cranmer, top 10% of the current class. Flavia Beatriz Cruz. James DaCosta. Akad Delan. Julia Dinesi. Sarah Elizabeth Joyce Davis. Eduardo de Brita Alves. Inigo de Carlos Artajo. Rodrigo de Leon Turcios. Emer El Cid. Rafaela de Liza. Lydia Dang. Myra Dung. Yegor Denisov Blanc. Rachel Densley. Sarah Devereaux. Julia Diaz. Catherine Dickinson. Lucy Isabel DQ. Isabel Diop. Nathaniel Xavier Dodson III. Zach Doherty. Emily Duarte. Ricardo Duenas. Delmer Rodrigo Duenas Salazar. Shane Dunow. Story Pickett Dyer Cloman. Divine Edom. Joseph Robert Eilers. Andrew Elder, R.J. Miller Scholar. Chapman Ellsworth, R.J. Miller Scholar. Julie Engel. Andrea Veronica Eppelbaum. Nick Essempler. Austin Evanson. Faye Shopa Iweja. Alan Fan. Elaine Fang. Sophia Chinying Fang. Jared Michael Fenton. Alistair James Ferguson. Carolina Ferrari Sellado. Nathan Fuel. Anna Filohowska. Mac Finley. Sarah Flam. Nicole Christine Flannery. Gabriela Ruth Forder Cuevas. Sarah Jamia Friedman. Madison Claire Freeman. Allison Fu. Lennart Funka.
Catalina Garcia, R.J. Miller Scholar. Sebastian Gebhardt, R.J. Miller Scholar. Ty Gerard, R.J. Miller Scholar. Aaron Getty. Ehsan Gassemi. John Rhodes Gilhooly. Joseph Adam Glick. Saloni Goyel. Eric Jose Gonzalez. Gabriela Gonzalez Velez. Noah Stanley Grass. Maggie Gratz. Ty Greenberg. Laura Jade Griffiths. Philip Groenwegen, R.J. Miller Scholar. Yachi Gao Grover. Chandler Bond Groves. Catherine Alden Grenison. Ruth Guan. Claudio Gardardo Sanchez. Nikhil Gupta. Sharif Hamidi. Amira Celeste Hannon. Sadie Ann Marie Harlan. David R. Harris. Caitlin Harris. Taylor Christine Harris. Whitney Hazard. Daniel Joseph Hirsch. Amanda Morrison Holt. Wyatt Horan. Irving Sue, R.J. Miller Scholar. Blair Huang. Eileen Huang. Jessica Huang. Sarah Elizabeth Hughes. Pallavi Hukarikar, top 10% of the current class. Adrianus Hungara. Jennifer Huang. Moise Imam. Yukiho Ishigami. Malik Ismail. Brooke Kasmir Istvan. Joam Jablonski. Alan Jackson, R.J. Miller Scholar. Stephen Jacobs. Julia Emily Jacobson. Crystal Ivy Jane. Pranav Jain. Shantham Jain. Shubi Jain. Srishti Jain Kavatra. Neeraj Jasangani. Chad Janis. Mateo Jaramillo. Willie Jin. Bennett Johnson. Nitika Jory. Sarah John. Alex Zhao, R.J. Miller Scholar. Gotham Kapoor. Rachel Adelaide Keithley. Uri Kedem. Kyle Kennedy. David Harachvili. Narissa Koja. Alexander Kayam. Amy Kim. Yuen Kim. Haley Marie King. Alexander Kleiner. Julia Kampala. Araba Kumsen. Brian Kozin. Emily Julia Kramer. Jonathan Scott Hubert. Tomo Kumahira. Deepika Karup. Alex Lacey. Nelson Launer. Alexander Keith Lee. Hannah Lee. Isabel Lee. John Lee. Whitney Hooper Lemon. Zachary James Levine. Bruce Lee. Chishun Lee. Will Lee. Michael Liamos, R.J. Miller Scholar. Leanne Leung. Nancy Liao. Sandra Lifshitz. Leah Lilinas. Cliff Lim. Grace Linsenberg. David Liu, R.J. Miller Scholar. Joanna Liu. Joy Leo. Diego Lloreda Martin. Breno Rodriguez Lobato. Jacob Lokshin. Gianluca Lorenzon. Helen Liu. Cherie Liu. Laura Luo. Andrea Madero. Varun Mahesh. Emmy Makakalala. Kirby Mansberger. Alvaro Marin Melero. Ricardo Martinez Cid, R.J. Miller Scholar. Jason Marty. Mora Marwanga. John Andre Newton Matthews. Gavin McGarry. Grant McNaughton. Krish Mehta. Guy Mello. Constance Charlotte Edvige Mietkowski.
Aaron Miller. Samantha Keaton Miller. Franz Mitre. Noam Modai. Manali Mohindra. Anna Morales. Savannah Jane Moss. Evie Muko. Corey Thomas Mui. Niat Mulgeta. Linda Muliani. Jocelyn Arlette Munoz. Andrew Mertland. Teresa Muhumuza Mwesigwe. Kiara Nicole Myers. Martha Nabakara Singando. Enrique Nafa, R.J. Miller Scholar. Thomas Finley Newcomb II. Ka'ai Nguyen. Krista Rose Niemeyer, R.J. Miller Scholar. Anson Trotter Notman, R.J. Miller Scholar. Gabriella Isabella Nyman. Newt Nyman. Jack O'Rourke. Oray Obiwumi. Tega Odioko. Aramide Olaniyan. Laura Nelson Gillette Ori, R.J. Miller Scholar. Oke Osewe. Francisco Oteiza Amestica. Christopher Oyang, R.J. Miller Scholar. Mila Pajovich. Paulina Paras. Rachel Park. Shivam Patel. Cammie Pearson, R.J. Miller Scholar. Jonathan Peterson. Michael Payne. David Chiang Peiren. Eric Persky, R.J. Miller Scholar. Grace Elizabeth Peterson. Jeff Fanoff. Jasmine Phillips Acey. Josh Pickering. Melanie Pierce. Dan Pilevsky. Sasha Pines. Erica Poley. Henry Carter Pollock. Emily Powers. Romson Woods Preachowit. Haley Prout. Michelle Menson Rao, R.J. Miller Scholar. Liam Rahman. Anthony Rangel. Bruno Rigonati Mendez. Diego Rivera Robledo. Garrison Edward Rowe, R.J. Miller Scholar. Emily Romanow. Tom Rosenblatt. Juan Rosenkrantz. James Rubin. Buzz Rubenstein. Alba Rubio Rodriguez. Benjamin Rush, R.J. Miller Scholar. Ignacio Sabate. Vishal Aditya Sahu. Sivakami Sambasivam. Juan Pablo Sandoval. Hector Sandoval. Leonardo Sinelli. Paloma Santos Vela. Claire Sapan. Catherine Sarkis. Michael Savage. Jamas Joshua Sayadi. Alini Paula Schechter. Mara Gabrielle Shine. Elizabeth Schultz, R.J. Miller Scholar. Ben Liad Schwartz. Dan Segev. Katie Sell. Julian Sarah. Ashay Shah. Nishant Shamana. Vikram Shankar. Jigyasa Sharma. Rashmi Sharma. Summer Shah. Emily Shang.
Jesse Schulman. Pedro Siciliano. Mihailo Skrobach. Amanda Slode, R.J. Miller Scholar. Alexandra Small, R.J. Miller Scholar. Christian Smith. Shaheem Sneed. Esteban Socaris. Brian Solander. Cassidy Welty Sorensen. Scott Sorensen, Jr. Justin Stocktiaris, R.J. Miller Scholar. Renata Stewart. Zane Stiles, R.J. Miller Scholar. Samuel Sawyer Stolenwork III. John Henry Stiles III. Sophia Suarez. Natia Svanidze. Evan Shablowski. Rio Takanashi. Darren Tan, R.J. Miller Scholar. Daryl Tan. Ramon Temnuo. Darren Teo. Nicholas Theros. Alexander David Wakil Thompson, top 10% of the current class. Willie Thompson. Raj Tilwa. Nishant Tiwari. Jeremy Top. Vivian San. Puti Satsi. Trip Twyman. Benjamin Uline, R.J. Miller Scholar. Lauren Ullman. James Underwood. Sandrine Uwimana. Adolfo Valdivieso Quiros. Camila Vargas Restrepo. Shakti Vetrivel. Nacho Vidri. Augusto Viotti Bosini, R.J. Miller Scholar. Olivia Volkel. Alexander Vofk. Alexandra Wang. Jessica Wang, R.J. Miller Scholar. Lauren Wang. Brad Ward. Ginny Watcham. Maya Watson. Emily Waxman. Charlotte Weiner. Jackson Wang. Victoria Hope Saunders White. Mark Robert Whitaker, R.J. Miller Scholar. Jacob Weinberg. Felix Noble Williams VII. Jelani Arthur Williamson. George Wilson. Walter Warren Winslow. Lauren Wong. Andrew Wooten, R.J. Miller Scholar. Alex Wu, R.J. Miller Scholar. Angela Wu. Andrew Weiner. Lisa Shao. Penny Shu. Ho Jun Yang. Paul Matthew Yap. Yuying Ye. Rich Yi, R.J. Miller Scholar. Juho Yo. Alex Yin. Feng Fei Yin, R.J. Miller Scholar. Han Yue Yin. Min Jae Yu. Grayson Scott Young III. Jay Yu. Alexander Zdrowkowski. Ryan Zapata. Kevin Sterling Zhang. Lucy Zhang. Aaron Zhang. Or Zolti. Sophia Sun Zhao. Uchen Zhou.
Nominated and chosen by their peers, the recipient of the Ernest C. Arbuckle Award is the second-year MBA student who, by their active participation, initiative, leadership, and personal integrity, is judged as having contributed most to the fulfillment of the goals of the Stanford Graduate School of Business in their actions both within school and society. The recipient receives a cash prize. We are delighted to have Susan Arbuckle, the daughter of Ernie Arbuckle, with us today. This year, the recipient of the award is Shadden Al-Sheikh.
The Alexander A. Robichek Student Achievement Award in Finance was established to honor Professor Robichek's outstanding contribution to the teaching of finance at the GSB from 1960 until his death in 1978. The award is given to an MBA student selected by the finance faculty for outstanding achievement in their finance courses. We are delighted to have Mark Robichek, the son of Alexander Robichek, with us today. This year's recipient of the award is Ty Gerard. Among the R.J. Miller Scholars, one student's academic achievement places them at the top of the class. This student, the top. This student is designated as the Henry Ford II Scholar and receives a significant cash award. This year's recipient of the award is Jessica Wang. Congratulations, Jessica. In addition to all the graduates here today, there's another person who is likely attending GSB graduation for the final time and who is also going on to an exciting post-GSB opportunity this summer, and that is Dean Levin. I hope you will join me in thanking John for his leadership and service to the GSB over the last 8 years and in wishing him well as Stanford's 13th president.
I'm not going to speak. But I am going to conclude this very special ceremony by saying, honored guests, faculty, staff, families, and friends, we have reached the conclusion of our ceremony. Guests, please remain seated while the graduates depart, and then please join us at the Night Management Center for a reception. Graduates, please stand. What a journey it has been. Let's have a final round of applause for the GSB class of 2024. And graduates, you may recess.